Right, hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We'll be starting really shortly in another 7 to 8 minutes as more people join in. So thank you for joining in a bit early.
Recording in progress.
Hey, hi Alkane.
Hi, Abhinav. How are you? Am I loud and clear? Hi, Abhinav. Can you confirm you're able to hear me well?
Hi Alkane. Can you hear me? I can hear you quite well. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'm also fine then.
Okay. And you
Okay,
can
good.
see the screen, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. Right. I'll just do a quick kind of announcement. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar a bit early. We are still 5 minutes as per our time. We'll start in another 5 minutes as more people join in. Right. So thank you for joining in a bit early. Right, we'll start really shortly, another 5 minutes. Thank you for joining in. Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this exclusive webinar on key lessons from BIDCO Africa's shared services transformation. My name is Abhinav. I'm part of the marketing team here at Avaali. We'll wait for another 2 to 3 more minutes. We'll let more people join in and then we'll start. So thank you for those of you who joined us early. Okay, let's start and then we'll take it from there as more people join, right? Thank you for joining in once again. I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Abhinav. I'm part of the marketing team here at Avaali. The topic for the webinar today is key lessons from BIDCO Africa's shared service transformation, which is a very relevant topic. Organizations, larger enterprises looking at centralizing their processes, deriving value from them, are looking at shared services, which is a very viable strategy to kind of reduce cost of their processes, increase process agility and have an impact on the bottom line. Right? So the agenda is, and before I walk you through the agenda of the webinar today, I'll quickly walk you through some of the housekeeping items. The webinar is about 45 minutes. We have reserved few minutes towards the end for any kind of questions that you might have, but please feel free to drop in your questions during the course of the webinar as well. Should you have any observations, any comments, do let us know via utilizing the Q&A or the chat section, right? Sorry, and all the lines are actually muted for clarity purposes, right? Okay, so today's point for discussion would be kind of understanding what are the business challenges that kind of lead up to organizations employing an SSC or a GBS strategy. What is the concept of SSC? Why is it still so relevant? Even though this being a 2-3 decades old concept, what are the market trends in SSC and GBS that we're seeing? And of course, we look at the SSC transformation journey of BIDCO Africa, who have been one of the pioneers in employing this strategy and deriving a lot of value from kind of centralizing not one, two, but many of their business processes. Today, as guest speaker, I'm happy to introduce Mr. Alkane Patel, who is the Chief Information Officer for BIDCO Africa. BIDCO Africa is one of the largest, FMCG companies in East Africa, Kenya to be specific. Alkane Patel is, of course, heads IT, is the Chief Information Officer there. He's a technocrat of about 21 plus years of experience, in multiple or other multiple areas of strategy planning, project management, implementation of enterprise resource planning systems, IT infrastructure management, RPA, to name a few, of course. He's been an ambassador of change with distinction of kind of leading multiple business processes, restructuring them, automating them, and implementing business solutions within organizations, within the present budgets, deadlines, and kind of revolutionizing those processes. So very happy to have you, Alkane, today, and thank you for actually taking out time from your busy schedule and doing this for us. I'm sure our audiences will kind of derive immense value from the conversation that we have today.
Thank you, Abhinav. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure how many people have joined there, but good morning and very good afternoon if you're part of the different time zone. And thank you for joining today's webinar. Just to give you brief, as Abhinav mentioned, that I've been working for BIDCO Africa Limited as a Chief Information Officer, as well as I'm performing a duty of a Chief Digital Officer. So BIDCO Africa, we are manufacturers and the marketers of FMCG product, which is an edible oils, cooking fats, hygiene and personal care product, beverages and animal feeds. We have our manufacturing facilities in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And our products are reaching in Africa almost 20 plus countries. So that's brief background about BIDCO and brief background about me. So we can move to the next slides and let's start, my thoughts on shared service centers, GBS, and how we have done it. So let's start by looking at some of these statistics. And the growth of the unstructured content is increasing at a rate of 62% per year. It's also estimated by 2022 a massive 93% of the data in our digital universe will be unstructured. But only 0.5% of the data is effectively analyzed and utilized. So for me, it's like this is a tremendous untapped opportunity for the businesses. Moreover, the volume of the data is set to increase by 80%. And out of that, the increase is going to come from the unstructured data. So the implication of these, we cannot ignore it. So currently, many workflows, business processes are still manual, and this leads inefficiency and increased costs. In fact, 80% of an enterprises have a less visibility into their operations. 70% of our companies are still struggling to manage and protect their unstructured content effectively. The impact on a process cycle time or the cost, I think that's what we need to address too. So I would say, what are the business challenges that we face today in this particular context? One of the key business challenge, what I would just see that it's a business process automation. And we need to find the ways to convert these challenges into opportunity. This can be arrested by diving into the process and creating a process isn't like agile process. By doing so, we can achieve a significant reduction in the process cycle time, potentially 35 to 40%. You can reduce the cost in your organization by doing only the business process automation. To overcome this challenge and seize this opportunity, we can also think of an implementation of an hyper automation or a digital business operations within an SSC. Now, this involves the emerging technology, which is like, we all know that, the intelligent document processing, process mining, or even enterprise content management, robotic process automation, process-based applications, intelligent automation. There are various kind of things which is like coming out in the market, and we can adopt that too. But the main important part is that when we adopt this technology has to be integrated with your structured data application. Now, my point here is just putting up this way that yes, you adopt this technology, but if this technology is not integrated to either an ERP on your offices or your organizations, or a WMS or an SCM or CRM, then again, we are running two parallel systems. So that's quite an interesting concept we have to keep in mind. Can we go to the next slide, Abhinav?
Sure.
Wow. So yeah, is still SSC relevant? As Abhinav mentioned, this is like kind of a 3 decades old concept of a shared service center. So if you look at today's business, implementation is actually becoming more relevant now. Implementation of SSC becoming more relevant. Now, this model offers a numerous benefit which aligns with the strategic business goal and enables our company or organizations to achieve service excellence, cost reductions, efficiency gains, agility, and the process controls. That's actually the most important part here. Now, let's examine the current situation. In decentralized model, the different businesses units within the company tend to perform the same services in their own way. Sometimes even they have the dedicated staff to perform the service. Now, this approach results in a costly and inefficient process. Many large successful organizations, sometimes I wouldn't say even large, it's a medium organization also, have already recognized the advantage of shared service model in delivering services to their internal customers more effectively and more efficiently. However, the problem lies in a decentralized model itself. It leads to an expensive operations due to the redundancy in resources and the non-standardization of the processes. Also, it lacks an internal control, and this hampers our efficiency, our productivity as an organization. Also, one more thing which has come to our notice in last couple of years, which is a pandemic. The recent pandemic has further emphasized that the need of a remote delivery without compromising the productivity or a service excellence. To address this challenge, we may think of creating shared service centers specifically designed for a repetitive and common but the critical services. By consolidating these services under the one central unit, organizations can achieve significant cost reductions and improve the quality and enhance the process control. To make SSC truly exceptional, I recommend leverage the digital technologies to transform it to the world-class organization. By harnessing power of automation, data analytics, intelligent systems, actually there are many systems, let me put it this way. Once you decide, you will get the technology, you will get the technology part. So for us, it's a time to embrace the potential of an SSC model. That's what I would say on this. Now, as we say that, yeah, the SSC, you do it to improve the process and reduce the cost. But one of the main key advantage of implementing SSC is the cost optimization. We are not talking about here the cost reduction or a cost cutting. We are saying the cost optimization. Companies that have adopted a shared service model have experienced significant benefit across the various areas, including cost reductions, productivity improvement, efficiency gains, customer service, quality, and so on and so on. To achieve the cost optimization through SSC, we can focus on few strategies. The first one is a standardization of processes. By standardizing across the different business units, leveraging the best practices, SSC can eliminate redundancy and we can streamline the operations. SSC also provide an opportunity to re-engineer the process and eliminate inefficiency and the bottleneck within the process. That results into improved productivity with less cost. We can also enhance the capability of the retained function by relocating the resources and aligning them with a higher value of an activity. SSC also enables the demand management portion of it. What does it mean? Is that this allows organizations to optimize the resource allocation and respond more effectively to the fluctuating demand, reducing cost associated with underutilized or even overcapacity. You can even sell the capacity to other departments or other customers. This means even internal customers too. Now, robust governance mechanism, clear service level agreement, and performance management framework within an SSC ensure that the processes are aligned with the business objective of the organization. The SSC should have a culture of continuous improvement, leveraging the methodology like Kaizen, Lean, Six Sigma to identify and eliminate waste, or Muda. In Kaizen, we generally in our company, we call it Muda. Also drive the efficiency and control the cost. So by the way, research suggests that organization can unlock an estimated 45 to 65% potential cost saving through the transition to a GBS model and the enhancement of the shared services. These savings can then be redeployed to the strategically in the other areas of the enterprise and driving the future growth and innovation. I'll just share my thoughts on the GBS in incoming slides. But the cost optimization, it's actually the significant advantage. And those, yeah, so this is what the next slide it says about. Now, is that only the cost optimizations or is there certain other values which we are going to look at by using the SSC? So as we embrace the shared service center model, we can also see that how we can create value within the shared service organization and then how the shared service organizations can create value in the main organization. By creating this by a service differentiation. By centralizing and standardizing process, SSC can free up the resources, enable employees to focus on more analytical and judgmental tasks. Leverage their skills in critical thinking, which shared service automation cannot do. They can provide a valuable insight and performing a task that require an expertise on the advanced analytics. This service differentiation sets an organization apart. Second thing I would say is hyper-automation also plays a very crucial role in accelerating efficiency within SSC. By combining technology like RPA, AI, machine learning, we can automate the repetitive and rule-based tasks. That means increasing the productivity, improving governance, enhancing the visibility, and at last, reduction in cost. SSC can leverage hyper-automations to streamline the operation, eliminate all the manual activities, and drive the operational excellence. SSC must be adaptable and capable of functioning effectively in a hybrid or a remote work. This actually has come, after the pandemic, correct? I'm not saying that, yes, we have to create an SSC which can only work on a remote models, but by selecting a remote work model, what we are saying is that, yes, we can leverage the cloud computing, we can use the mobile first kind of a thing. And also we can broaden our service offering. So as an SSC matures and demonstrates its capability, it can expand this service offering to handle a larger share of an organization's. By assuming the responsibility for an additional processes, the SSC allows customers to focus on the core business area, driving efficiency and effectiveness. So generally it says that, we are the best in doing the manufacturing, just focus on that and outsource the rest. So that's what the concept is all about. But in conclusion, the SSC has an potential to go beyond the cost reduction, cost optimization, and become a value driver within the organization. SSC can position as a strategic partner and key enabler of the value creation in the organization. So this is the interesting part it's coming to now. We were discussing, if you ask me before a few years, we were always discussing it's a BPO or it's an SSC. Now we're saying it's an SSC or a GBS. So there's a new terminology, which is all we witness that, people talk about the global business services alongside with the shared service center, as well as the business process outsourcing. The rise of this GBS prompt us to ask actually ourselves that what is it actually, and why we are talking about GBS, why people are adopting the GBS, where do we get the support of doing the GBS, who will implement the GBS for you. So GBS is actually a hybrid structure, which is quite common and allowing services to be delivered by either a dedicated company unit, can be even captive, or it can be even outsourced. But the condition is as long as this process centrally controlled by the global business unit, global business service unit. So GBS represents the highest level of a maturity on an SSC scale, requiring optimized product, optimized processes, automated processes, modular IT system, and skilled resources with a deep process knowledge. Now, number of companies embracing the GBS, but what are they doing it about it? How are they been providing a services? So for us is that what are the driving factors behind these decisions? The key benefits of a GBS implementation includes a cost reduction, but sharper focus on a core business development, process optimization, automation led by a global process owner. So they have their own kind of a global vision of automating the process, and comprehensive IT system that integrate all the processes across the entire company. As an organization, always strive for a greater operational efficiency and global competitiveness. GBS model has emerged as a strategic choice now, and it offers a pathway to transform our business processes, optimize our resources, and align with the best practices. By centralizing, I would say centralizing and integrating processes under the GBS framework, we can unlock a significant benefit and gain a competitive edge in today's dynamic business landscape. I would say what the main characteristic when you look at the world-class GBS organization. A GBS organization operates with a clear structure of a global process owner who are responsible for end-to-end performance across the organization. And these process owners have a deep understanding of a business processes, drive standardization, and ensure continuous improvement. Now, continuous improvement is ingrained in the DNA of the GBS because they have to have a robust process excellence framework in a place, Lean or a Six Sigma or even Kaizen or whatever the methodology we can choose for. But the objective is to drive an efficiency, eliminate waste, and improve the quality. Regular process reviews, benchmarking with the best practices, performance measurement helps identify areas for an improvement and drive ongoing optimization. Also, these organizations leverage an automation and digital technologies to streamline the process. They said automate whatever you can or whatever is possible. So that's the main focus on the digitization part of it. Customer centric. Customer satisfaction is actually the top priority for any organization, whether it's a GBS or even non-GBS. But to align their services with the customer needs, understanding their requirement, and continuously seek a feedback to enhance the service delivery to the customer. Also, GBS measures the customer satisfaction, sets an SLA, and continuously strive to improve the customer experience. Also, GBS recognize the importance of a skilled resources in delivering high quality services. They invest in a talent management and talent development program. This provides a training and upskilling opportunities and foster the culture change. So these are the top priorities as a GBS now. These are very clearly, I think it's been seen on the screen. So yes, you invest in digitization, you invest in digitalization, both you can do that. And this you have to do it, I would say wisely, or you even can say it's carefully. Also innovate and don't invent. Because there are many things are there, you can do it on your own. You don't need to invent, you don't need to be writing codes for it. You can just use it, utilize it, and consume it. Now, turn data into insight. Don't present an Excel files to the management, to your customers, but use those Excel files, use this data and convert into the intelligence, and then present this data into as in form of an insight or maybe intelligence to your customers. You always have to close the digital knowledge gap, because lack of the skill is maybe one of the obstacles when you want to transform your SSC or you want to transform your GBS. Of course, but the other thing it's saying is that always keep on adding the new services on your menu. So if you've been serving a customer, you've been doing maybe X number of processes, you can always say that, okay, can I do this X+1? Can I pick up these services? And that's more important. That customer is stick to you in the GBS organization. Now, when I'm saying the GBS can be a captive too. That means it's, you can even think of that you are part of GBS when you're working in the SSC, which is maybe mature in that. And keep on measuring and improve. So that's the main priority when we think of an GBS on that. But I think ultimately when we talk about the shared service center, when we talk about the GBS, it's all been coming that how do you use the technology? How do you implement the technology for a transformation? And there are common challenges. It's not even limited to any organization. These are the quite common challenges we day in and day out we face that. Adopting a new digital technologies and changing these established business processes always require shift in the organization culture, employee behaviors. We always see that resistance to the change, fear of a job displacement, and the need for upskilling may hinder the successful implementation on all digital initiatives. We're also facing challenges in keeping up with a rapidly evolving digital landscape, understanding the emerging technology industry trend, its potential impact on our SSC operation, which is crucial for an effective digital transformation. lack of digital talents is it's very clear. You get the technology and you may sometimes lack the talent because the technology is always been racing. Outdated and inadequate infrastructure can also hinder the implementation and scalability of the digital solution. What we need is a robust and flexible infrastructure to support the integration of new tech, to handle even the increase the data volume. Occasionally, insufficient funding allocated for a specific digital transformation can limit the SSC to invest necessary technology, talent acquisitions, even training, or even upgrades. Traditional hierarchical structures and the silos organization structures may not be conducive for any digital transformation. Different departments or a business unit within an SSC may have different priorities and objectives, and this leads to a lack of alignment in digital transformation effort. As we go on list and on, the one which I would like to even touch is that lack of a senior support. Strong executive sponsorship and the supports are actually very vital for driving any digital transformation project. Without buy-in and active involvement of a senior leadership, it can challenge to secure necessary resource, and it can even create a problem and as an organization behavior, or you can say is barriers. So addressing these challenges required for us is to have a comprehensive approach, and that involves a change management, talent management, infrastructure investment, strategic planning, and fostering the culture of an innovation. And by recognizing and proactively addressing these challenges, we can navigate the digital transformation journey more effectively and unlock full potential of this digital technology. So now let me just come back to BIDCO's part of it, what we have done so far, how we have started, what are our learning which you may be able to use that you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I would say that, as I mentioned, the challenges while doing any digital transformation project, the key part is that you need to have your senior leadership team support. And I always find that, our management is always been a forward thinking. So we took this comprehensive approach to set up SSC way back in 2016. And unlike many SSCs, our initial focus on consolidating and standardizing of a few high volume activity, we had planned actually our SSC to include multiple business processes from the day one. Though this initiative, which we achieved as in several key benefits, which contributed to the overall success. By centralizing processing within the SSC, we were able to measure and improve the quality of number of activities. Standardization and implementation of industry best practices allowed for consistent performance monitoring and identification of an area for an optimization or even an enhancement. So this brings a focus on a quality control. We had leveraged also our SSC to adopt the industry's best practices and benchmark. By aligning our processes with recognized standards, we were able to improve our operations, eliminate efficiency, and drive continuous improvement. This commitment to adopting the implementing industry good practices ensured us that we remain a forefront in industry. And now, SSC also enabled us to identify and leverage the right technology to support our processes. By assessing the business requirement and understanding the available technology, we could select and implement the solutions that are only aligned with our strategic objectives. So we can remove the noise from the technology crowd. We enhance our ability to manage our external relationship. By consolidating interaction with the supplier, partners, and other stakeholders, our team could streamline communication, actually even negotiate a favorable terms and drive the cost saving. The decentralized approach to manage external relationship allowed us to build even stronger partnership with our external stakeholders. And it has also played a very crucial role in monitoring a customer satisfaction by having a centralized function dedicated for management of a customer interaction, collecting their feedback, collecting their even insight, and addresses any issue promptly to our customers. And this focus brings a customer loyalty to our organization. So you can go to the next slide and let's talk the implementation approach which we took. These we took to implement and optimize our shared service center. This is what started from 2016 onwards. So by leveraging a process consulting expertise and technology enablement, we had aimed to enhance our efficiency and streamline our workflows and improve overall service delivery within an SSC. We partnered with a process consulting team to assess the existing processes and identified optimizing opportunity within an SSC. A thorough analysis of a workflow was performed to identify inefficiency, we call MUDA, and areas of an improvement. Then jointly we developed the full roadmap for the process standardization, and based on the analysis and the roadmap which we created, guided us for a standardization, consolidation, and optimization of the processes. So we then enabled the vendor invoice management from SAP, and in that we're using an OCR for effectively scanning and extraction of a metadata from the invoicing. We have a scenario-based validation processes and workflows. Business rules were defined to enable the automated validation, exception handling of an invoices. Only validated invoices are automatically posted into SAP. This reduces the manual effort. We then implemented a system for a centralized management of a master data that includes a supplier, customers, employees, materials, and assets. Now, data entry and the synchronization process were streamlined across the relevant system, and that ensures us a consistency and accuracy of our master data. Later, we adopted a ECM to effectively manage various types of document and correspondence and processes after the invoice is booked into the system, which is a payment process. Excuse me. Various models were also established to manage the supplier related and employee related documents, as well as the payment related documents. So ECM solution enabled effectively for us to store all this unstructured data, retrieve unstructured data, and also it attached the unstructured data by metadata. It converts into more kind of a semi-structured data. It also has a version control, and we can collaborate seamlessly within our team as well as the external parties. So what we're saying here is that by leveraging the process consulting expertise and implementing the tech-enabled solution, I would say that SSC remains a very integral part of our company operation. Our focus on automation and tech in the areas such as vendor invoice management, master data management, and ECM, it's in line with our commitment to drive the efficiency and effectiveness within an SSC. Also, I would like to say here that we adopted a phased approach. So we did certain part of the project first and then followed by the other initiatives. So this is a typical challenge, is not even limited to the BIDCO. This is limited to the any organization whenever you talk about the accounts payable. So these are the typical challenges most of us been facing, okay? Whenever you touch this subject. Accounts payable is actually often a lack standardization. That results in inconsistent workflow. Approval processes are variable. It's actually scenario based, different document format, and this leads in inefficiency, errors. It has also difficulty in tracking and managing an accounts payable. Occasionally, many organizations have even the fragmented systems. That means there are like 2 or 3 systems to do the accounts payable. And this makes it even more challenging to have a centralized view of a payable. This even increases the risk of a data discrepancies. Also slow down the whole processes. A lack of visibility into AP, lack of an visibility into accounts payable, even you can't take a decision in time. It may even hinder your financial management, and without real-time visibility into outstanding invoices or even payment status, you can't even do cash flow projects. Also, accounts payable is even tightly linked with your compliance, whichever the country we operate in. So this can even may lead to even financial penalties or even the reputational damage. Sometimes even it creates a strained relationship with your vendors and other stakeholders. And the last is like manual or inefficient invoices can result into high cost in the organization. Paper-based or even the manual processes require a significant time and resources for a data entry, verification, and then later approval. Mostly error comes when you do the data entry manually, that we all know that. So to address these challenges, what one can do about it? Standardizing an accounts payable process to streamline workflows, approval hierarchies and all that, you can improve it. But implementing an integrated systems within an accounts payable automation, that brings you a centralized data and you can streamline your invoice processing. So adopt the electronic invoices and eliminate or reduce the paper-based invoice processing. Also, you use the data analytics tool, and you can gain an insight that how this accounts payable is happening. It is like once the invoices comes into the system, how much time is been taking it. When I would say in the system means in the company, from the gate when you receive the invoice, by the time you book the invoice, those kind of workflow, you map it out and then see that what you can automate in that. So that's a typical thing can be done on that. So by addressing these typical accounting challenges and the process optimization, we can always improve overall finance management. So yeah, this is, I think, whoever has been attending or evaluating or using the SAP vendor invoice management, they may have seen this diagram many times on this, correct? So my explanation to this is quite simple. You get the invoice. Okay. Yeah, I can. Okay, I can. Okay. So I would say that you get the. Okay, it's not working out. I wanted to use the pen, but it's not working out for me. It's fine. So once you receive the invoice from the vendor, the first thing what you do is a new archive. When you archive either on SAP, SAP DMS, or maybe you can maybe archive on the OpenText. In our case, we've been. Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine. Thanks, Abhinav. So our case, what we are doing is we are archiving in the OpenText archive center, and after that we are converting these invoices into kind of a structured data format, or we are trying to do that using an OCR technology where the data mapping happens, and we are then sending in invoices for validations. As a country and as a company, we have certain validation has to be done there. And after that, the workflows can be triggered. Now, this can be either PO or NPO. If there is an exception in three-way matching, there are some rules, all that been built into the system. And then later, if it's all okay, it has been approved. If it's not okay, it has to be corrected before it gets into the approval. So here, this is something, it's not that which I would like to explain to on this slide. What I would like to explain is that if you've been doing this, now what is next? After next is that invoice is booked. Now, can you automate the payment process? So that's where we have done it after implementation of Weave. So the payment portion, which is showing in the top right side of it, there OpenText workflow takes care of it, and then it creates a payment. Now, again, when we talk about the automation, what you can do is that, does this payment go and hit straight to your bank? If you use an SAP PR IDOC, you can do that. When we talk about automation, thing doesn't stop there. You can always go further and say that yes, can I integrate this with a supplier invoicing discounting platform if bank has to offer on that? So that's a kind of a right-hand side of an integration you can get into that. When you come to the left-hand side of it, what else you can do about it? So if you have this robust system in a place, which is we call an SAP vendor invoice manager, can you allow your suppliers to look into your system if your system is accurate? Can you allow them to just even post an invoice from there? And you can reduce further people that you don't need to even do the scanning part of it. So there are many things can be done, but the important part here is that is your core is absolutely perfect on that. And then you can expand your horizon and get into more processes and make sure that complete procure to pay process you can automate it. So that's something we can think of it. Okay, so what was the desired outcome if one does the vendor invoice management? So after implementing an SAP Vim, yeah, we have seen that we can streamline, automate the invoice processing workflow, and which results into the reduced cycle time. Manual tasks and delays can be minimized, which result of faster invoice processing and improved turnaround time. Also, SAP Vims enables an automation of a manual data keying, which I would say it's an OCR part of it, which reduces even the manual input in that. And increased productivity is achieved as an employee can focus on other value-adding tasks rather than repetitive and time-consuming manual activities. Also, Vim helped us in lowering costs associated with an invoice processing by reducing a need of a manual intervention, paper-based process, and some of the redundant tasks. The last part, which I would like to say that what we achieved is a compliance part of it. So this compliance with the financial regulators in the country and internal policies by providing a robust control mechanism. Rapid deployment, it's always been a talk when we're doing any SAP project or any maybe technology project. SAP Vim offers a rapid deployment options, and this allows the companies to quickly implement the solution and realize its benefit. The solution provides a scalable foundation which can accommodate all your requirements, as well as where there is no requirement, you can maybe do a little bit of customization and configuration of that. So implementing an SAP can deliver a range of a desired outcome for organizations like us. It reduces our cycle time, it reduces invoice processing time, it increases our efficiency as far as that function is concerned, increase the productivity of the people or we would say the characters who've been part of the whole process. Yeah, so these are the outcomes we as a BIDCO, we received it, or we are enjoying it now, let me put it this way. But many you can think of that. So what we got after doing the whole thing, so we got the best technology as we think that our business needs were. We are able to automate, we are able to route the invoices either PO or NPO based. As our team has now the visibility in a complete accounts payable, they're able to do their cash flow, they're able to do the financial planning better of that, and then retrieval of the documents related to the invoices as well as the invoices also be available. So look at this way, from 4 to 7, it's around now we have around 10 plus years of data actually in the systems, and our team is enjoying that. The next one which I would like to touch upon is that OpenText part of it. What generally we have done so far at BIDCO, but a general thought. Let me put it this way: on this diagram, when you see that, it's been clearly visible that our core business processes, which I would put it as our ERP, CRM, SCM, and WMS. That's our core business processes where the people enter the structured data part of it. It flows there. There is also an enterprise requires some of the contents where you get the PDF from the system related to supplier, related to customer. There's some email communications. That's, I would say, it's a content. So it's a unstructured content. Both of them has their own separate pathways. So it flows separately. There is no way it has been linking at this moment now, if you see on this. So our task is that how do we make sure that everything is seeing a one song? And that's our effort. We have done it using the OpenText enterprise content management system. So we have digitized the content and also link that to the processes. So both is like living the same life. That's the main thing, what is an important for us. So why actually we had done this? So of course, when you are looking at your systems and you are checking certain data and you want to look at the data which is unstructured data, I would say it's a paper in communication and all that. Our job is to how do we marry both of them. So ERP system generally, has a variety of master data. For us is we said supplier, customer, employees, material, and assets. These are the 5 major master data which we had identified for us at that time. Later on, we added many of them now. And these master data approval happens on a paper, used to happen on a paper-based manual workflow. Though it was a predefined format, but still it was a manual one. And then later on, all the supporting documents, you have to store it somewhere, either in digital format or you may have to store it in the paper-based format. So if the process starts from the content or any other format document, we think that we are digitized from the first step in the workflow. Then the forms to record and extract the data from that particular document. And once you have standardized workflow, separate for suppliers, separate for customers and all that, what happens is that as soon as the workflow triggers, you can track all the master data, you can track all the unstructured content till the time the master data is created into the SAP. Alongside all the communication, what has happened during the workflow, it's also archived along with the master data, what you created in SAP. So these actually helped us in seeing the single view of the whole communication, whole master data. Now, to do that, what we have done, we have implemented an OpenText extended ECM. Then we have that in that there are various components in that. So we have a content server that helps us to do the document management system, to record management system, and it has the workflow capability. Then also there is an archive server, which we use to store all this data, what we collect above from there. Then after that, we use this extended enterprise content management, which is a link which is created between SAP and the archive server. Or you can even imagine it's an OpenText server. So these are the things which has been part of the document management system. And that's what we said, we used it here. And for us, it was a quite encouraging when we saw that technology. So yeah, this is the, okay, can be, yeah, that's fine. Just go back to one previous slide, please. Yeah, so guys, this is what our understanding is, and this is what we feel proud that yes, we have this technology. So we have an enterprise content management. We have an integration with an SAP. So what we're saying is at one view, we can see everything. So this improves our business process efficiency by connecting actually content to the processes, and of course the user efficiency. Okay, yeah, we can go to the next slide. Yeah, so these are the actual key benefits if one can do such kind of an project or such kind of an operations by OpenText or SAP vendor invoice management. You can see that you will have a scalable foundation and you can automate as much as you can. Okay. Yeah, considering the time, we can go to the next slide. Okay, yeah, we can skip this anyway. That's our reference use case. So yeah, this is something I would like to, this may be the last slide for me. This is what I would like to share here, that doing an SSC or maybe optimizing an SSC or maybe doing a journey from SSC to GPS, what approach we should be having it and what we need to learn from our experience. So for us is when we were doing this project, we wanted to do the AP automation. So we got the proposal from all the software partners, which are like there, which we can, evaluate there. But the first thing what I would advise is that define your business requirement in terms of I need to have and nice to have. And after that, when you evaluate the feature list of the software, don't be rigid on your requirement. I would say be open and learn a look-alike feature, because sometimes it comes that the software gives you much better solution than what you have wished for. It's always good to have an industry-based practices inbuilt as a solution repository. This actually helps you in a rapid deployment of the solution. I'm not against the customization or configuration, but always my advice is that do the customized configuration where it is required to be doing it, and also do it in a standard way. Don't cut corners on that. So later you won't regret when you have a business process change or you may have a system upgrade. Because no one wants to be the round hole that's having a square peg. So make sure all solutions what you look at that are flexible enough to meet your current demand as well as your forecasting demand. You may not be forecasting 5 years down the line what's the requirement from the government or from the legal body is all about, but what you visualize there, put that. So that's something quite important on that. Integration is most important aspect. Make sure that the vendor what you choose has an actual experience in integrating within your system. I'm definitely sure that you don't want to be a vendor's learning part of a vendor's learning curve. So if vendor does not have an integration with your core systems, I think they may not be the right vendor for you. So in our case, we've been using SAP, and OpenText is being a certified partner by SAP. Also out of box SAP integration, that worked well for us. Veeam has the same actually SAP look and feel, which made our life quite easy when it comes to the it comes to the adoption by the user. In our evaluation process, check out the product roadmap. That's also like quite important that the product has kind of a clear-cut roadmap. It's not that yes, after 2-3 years they said okay, we don't want to be in this business kind of a thing. So these are the kind of things when you choose the product. Product means either the tech solution of it. And after that, when you choose the right product, then your next step is to choose the right partner for implementation. The way to look at is that the product addresses and fulfill your business needs for the functionality, scalability, complexity, and automation. But now it's a partner who will help you out to achieve your operational excellence. The right implementation partner is to bring a tech to the life. Okay, the best product you have, but if it's implemented not well, you know how much struggle we get into. So when you evaluate your partner, these are the right questions to be asked. That do I need a custom development capability? If it is, then how much? And is the partner capable of doing it? Do the partner also think like out of box? Do they have the culture or they have the bureaucratic kind of a culture? How is their support? Does this implementation partner have any other capabilities which is beyond the project what you are getting into? Do they understand the requirement? So these are the main I think the questions to be asked to the partners, and then based on that you can select the right partner. The learning is that limit the evaluation to at least less than a minimal of at least three partners, because when you have more partners and more prospect, it will be even sometime cumbersome and your decision-making process will be too long. Because you know that you know that the relationship with your vendor who is going to implement the product for you, how it's going to be, and it has to be a long one. So we had selected in our process Avaali, and we said that we have done our journey from 2015 onwards with them. Later on, we eventually migrated from Oracle to HANA database, as well as we upgraded a content server to the latest one, which was 6.2, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, they have a young team at that time. Even as we speak now, they also have a young team. But age is, I believe, it's just a number, and we actually, as an our team and their team, we went ahead. It has worked out well. So I think they understand our business need well. Suggest the solutions for not for now, but even for the future also. So yeah, that's something which I would like to say. And so now the thing is, you selected a product, you selected a partner. Now when you are on the journey. So I would like to pass a last my learning or team's learning is that which I always get from my chairman, Mr. Shah. He said, in the absence of plan B, plan A always work. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope this experience will help you out in taking the right decision in your journey to the SSC, to the GBS. Thank you, Abhinav, and over to you.
Right. Thank you, Alkane, once again. Thank you. If we'll pause for any kind of questions the audience might have. I know we are already overboard time, but if you have any questions, do let us know. If not now, I'll be happy to make sure that I kind of respond, check with Alkane and respond to your questions. If any questions, we utilize the chat or the Q&A section. Right, since we're already kind of past our time, rather we're overboard our time. Alkane, thank you again once again for kind of joining this webinar. Explaining in detail about SSC, GBS utility. How can organizations actually transform. Utilizing best of the breed technologies for doing that. And thank you once again for sharing all of this valuable information for our audiences.
Always welcome. Thank you, Abhinav. Thank you all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. We'll reach out to you. Should you have any question at a later point of time, we'll be happy to answer those, right? So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining in today. I think there is one question. If time permits, Alkane, can we answer that? Can we include vendor registration process in the Vim and OpenText?
Yeah, of course. I would say that's any process can be implemented. It depends on how we want to go about it. But that's, I guess, it's more tech questions to you, Abhinav.
Exactly.
Than me.
So yeah, we will definitely get back. We'll conclude this, but we'll get back to it. Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.